Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Jim here. Happy Friday. I hope you're excited for your weekend. I'm here to show you some packages that came from Sweetwater to help me fill out the studio, and something else that may be a long time coming, but my wife actually told me to buy it. Now, one of the big selling points of moving out of Southern California into Fort Myers, Florida was this room, because I could fit my piano in it, and more importantly, I could fit my drums in it. This led to a problem though, because I want to be able to mic them up. This is the interface I've been using for all the videos that you've seen. I had an Apollo before, I sold it off because I didn't have enough space or really a need for all those inputs and features. It's a Focusrite 2i2. I need at least 4 simultaneous inputs to track the drums. So what I decided to do was buy a new interface. So knowing that and knowing I was going to be expanding to a little bit more outboard gear in the future as this studio builds, I decided to make the main control center here, the ID44 by Audiomo. Now, I chose this interface because I know that brand. I've used that brand's consoles in recording studios in the past. I love the preamps on them. It's not cheap, it feels substantial. It has 4 built-in mic preamps, which to get started, is going to be all I need. 1 mic on the kick, 1 mic on the snare drum, 2 overheads, and having those 4 inputs without having to buy an additional 8 channels of ADAT to plug in gives me the peace of mind of knowing I can mic this up, use it for YouTube videos, use it for all sorts of demos, rough tracking ideas. You know, it really opens up my possibilities. Another really cool feature of this interface that doesn't come on a lot of interfaces in this price range, on channels 1 and 2, actually has a send and return. Now, what does that mean? If you're not familiar with outboard gear or interfaces or the like, what that allows me to do is I can plug in any external preamp, compressor, or EQ and have it go pitch perfect right into the interface, giving me the cleanest, non-distorted, non-colored tone possible. That's a really, really big selling point. I am really excited to have my Music Band 212 HD vintage tube amp back. The problem with that amp though hasn't gone away. To get the really, really amazing clean tones, it's got to be cranked way too loud. It's 132 watts, which is just, brutal. So what I decided to do after my good experiences with this Rev G20 was to invest in an external torpedo for that. Now that's going to allow me to record in silence any time of the day or night using the Music Band, so I can get all those lush clean tones, the reverb and tremolo, not have to bother anybody. And the third piece of gear on this 4-order shipment I had from Sweetwater actually isn't for me at all. It's a Fender Rumble 25 bass practice amp for my wife. Now, in the old house in California, it was roughly 70 square feet to work with. Our bed was about 3 feet away from where you were watching me film videos. It was tiny. And so at night, we had nowhere for both of us to really work on anything. So if I was on the computer working on videos or practicing, my wife wasn't able to play bass. So now that we have all this space, she really wants to get back into it, and she wants to be able to jam with me. So I said, you know what, we'll get you an amp. You can play with me when I'm playing around the drums, the guitar, and it'll be a lot of fun and, you know, a good way for us to, you know, reconnect and start new here. And as a sidebar, I tried this amp to make sure it worked. It's way louder than I thought it was going to be. Actually, pretty decent. And last but not least, the reason why you clicked on this video, more likely, unless you're one of the people that clicks on everything, that I do appreciate, but I get most people are here for this. It's a big box that says Fender on it. My wife told me to buy this. My wife said, I want you to commit and I want you to purchase this for obvious reasons, which will make sense once we unbox it. Just know, this was not my idea. She genuinely pushed me to get it. Alright, so without further ado, let's see what's inside. No, your eyes are not deceiving you. I bought another American Professional too, after that last video I made. I'll tell you why in a second, but Same exact finish. Got the Miami blue. It's a P bass, the maple neck. This thing feels absolutely fantastic, I might add. All right, so why did I buy this bass? I bought this bass because my wife asked me to buy a bass. Her Mustang bass is kind of like the family thing. It was the family thing until this, obviously, now. And she wanted me to be able to have a bass for myself, so I'd stop using hers, and also just, you know, so I'd have something more professional in a recording environment that I'd never have to replace. Now, initially my thought was, do what I do when I recommend for electric guitar. I contacted a few shops that I normally go to in Japan. The shipping on a bass, you wouldn't think it's that much more expensive. It was double the price. So I was going to be looking at anywhere between $1,100 to $1,400 to get what I really wanted used from Japan. I decided I was going to be doing the order from Sweetwater anyway, and I was going to do the 6 months on it, you know, just kind of spread things out a little bit, make life a little easier during this transition of the move and all of that. I actually had the Vintera in my cart. And at the last second, when I was showing my wife what I was going to be ordering, she said that, and she goes, "That's a Mexican one." And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "I know that you're not going to be happy with that in the long run. You're going to either upgrade it, you're going to sell it, it's not going to have any value left." Apparently, she does watch a little more videos of mine than I give her credit for, or she actually listens to me, God forbid, when I'm talking about all this gear nonsense. But before I clicked order, I really thought about it, and I said, you know what? This really isn't like me with guitars. With guitars, yeah, I kind of do splurge a little bit more. I buy here and there when I don't really need. With a bass, I've had 2 basses in my life, and before the Mustang, I had a jazz bass, a Squier jazz bass that lasted me like 4 years. And you know, I do a fair bit of tracking. Last year, I did 2 full albums as the bass guitarist. Now, I am not a great bass guitarist, but I often am required to play it out of necessity. So I figured, why not? And maybe this will push me over to learn more about the instrument and, you know, improve my skills from there. However, that being said, I looked in stock. Not many options. There were only 3 American-made Fender P basses, and this was the last one of the Miami Blue Professional 2s. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna splurge. It's probably not the best financially as far as a deal goes, and I preach about deals, but it got done, it got bundled in, and you know, I made an exception this one time. I will have a video reviewing this from a guitarist perspective out on Monday. Tomorrow I have something else planned for a demo that took me a little bit longer to get to. Sunday is when I rebuy this guitar, so you won't be really hearing or seeing any more of this bass until Monday, but judging just by how it feels just handling it right now, I'm not going to be disappointed. If you like what I'm doing, please leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think about all of my decisions in this little mini gear and studio upgrade order. Subscribe if you have not. That really does mean a lot, you guys. I appreciate that you guys are still clicking on all these videos. It means a lot to me. And other than that, I will see you tomorrow for another gear-related video. Take care.